Or am I the only one?
Right now, you are our only person, but that's okay. That means any question you have, just pop right out with it.
Okay.
So let me get started. Let me first minimize. Okay, so today I'm going to give you a brief overview of what we're going to be covering, and we're going to try and keep it to half an hour. I also just want to mention quickly that today's fundraising tips basically around your website, how you and your participants can use your website to fundraise. But next week we're going to have fundraising tips 2. We're going to have part 2, and we're going to have a special guest who will give more general tips about how to fundraise. So keep that in mind. Also, just in general, I wanted to give you some days of the week in our schedule so you have a sense of when we're doing what. So I'll be updating you every Monday with things that are happening, news, fundraising goals. On Thursdays, we'll have these calls. And we've been thinking about maybe having one at 7 as well, though I haven't gotten a lot of feedback about that yet. But we are going to be having them every week, and then recording them so you can go back and see them. And then on Fridays, we'll be doing all updates to the website. So anything you get in, I will make sure it's up there by Friday.
Okay. So now one quick question I have. The site is up and running, so we can actually start notifying. I mean, I'd like to get the flyer out by tomorrow if I could, because it's just something I want to do for the walkers so they can start making donations and joining a team. Can we do that?
Absolutely. It's live and ready to go, and we'll give you some more tips here on how to use your site for fundraising. So what we'll cover first is the participant center and how you can track your donations there and also get in touch with your donors and thank them. Then Natalie is going to go cover fundraising tips, doing some updates on Teamraiser, which is the website program that we use. Then she's going to give you an overview of email tools. And then I'm going to talk about tips for telling your story. And then we'll have time for questions.
Okay.
So just charging ahead, talk about tracking your donations using your website. So once you've registered, you'll automatically have a participant center. So you can see I've logged in here. And here's the main page that you'll get to. And at your home page, you'll see how much you've raised, your goal, percentage, and days left, which is useful information. But the real where you can dig down into that is the progress tab. So here's what it looks like on that page. You have the same information on top, but then when you scroll down, you can see when you received different donations, so fundraising peaks and valleys. You can also decide whether you want to receive notifications or not. So every time you receive a donation, you'll be notified by email, which I think we recommend that you keep on so you can respond to people quickly. You can see who's donated to you, but you can also, by clicking this link, you can download your personal a contact list of your donors. So it's just a spreadsheet which includes all of the information that you'll need in order to get in touch with them and thank them.
Okay.
So this is just a general overview of how you and all of your participants can use their pages in order to keep track of their fundraising progress.
Okay.
Now I'm going to turn things over to Natalie for Teamraiser updates.
You can keep that going.
Okay.
So Maria, I'm going to talk more or less about how to use the site to fundraise and recruit, pretty much.
So this is just the update section.
Oh, so within the updates, sorry, keep going. I need the live page.
Oh, okay. So let's just We're going to the internet. We'll be right there.
Okay.
Okay. Here we are. I have to log back in. No, I can continue working. So this is my personal page.
So just to give you some updates, If,
Here, I'll enter it.
put Philly's up there. If Philly, we'll use her.
Okay, so we're going to enter your site, Maria.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Okay, so just to give you some updates of some changes I've made
Okay.
or that we on the site. So at the bottom, if someone you know is having trouble with trying to register, or they need help with their page, whether it's the team page or the personal page or with their donations, we have a help desk. So Laura, who helps oversee our help desk, will be able to help them so they can send her an email, provide a summary or a screenshot, and she will try her best to get back with them during the day or the next business day. So that's just a note that we've added on the bottom of the screen.
Okay.
And then also the other update was, we've kind of, some of the walk organizers, they were a little confused. So we've updated the screen right here, the slider,
Okay.
to be generic pictures so that no one would think, oh, I'm on a Philly site or I'm on a New York site or whatever.
Okay, see, that explains, because I know when we first went to the first meeting, it was just Philadelphia. Now I see everyone, and that's why when I showed it to Dr. Hoffman yesterday, she said, why can't we just keep the Philadelphia one? And I explained that it wasn't possible, so
Okay.
Well,
that
we can
explains
also,
why.
what we can do is, though, take your one of your group shots from last year and
Okay.
add it to this section right here where my mouse is at the
Okay.
section.
Mhm.
And
What I want to do. Can I do that?
Yep.
So we can, so Jean will be able to do that. Is that Friday?
Yes, I will get it done by Friday. As long as I have it needs to be a horizontal or a landscape image, and I'll have to crop it to the right size, but that shouldn't be a problem.
Okay. All right. Good.
Keep in mind, if you want to keep it fresh, we can swap out different pictures. So that's another thing
Okay.
you could do if you'd like. We could do if you'd like us to.
Okay.
Okay. So we can still add it so it's still personal to Thomas Jefferson, but it's just not up here at the slider part.
Okay.
All right, great. So I'm going to go back to, is this one?
Yeah, this one.
Okay. So I'm going to go back to so those are the updates. And now I'm going to do an overview of the email tools. So Jean mentioned that within this you can use this participant center as part of your fundraising efforts. And we're going to talk about the email tools within there. Within your email section, you have, we provided you with sample email text that you can use to send out to your family, friends, whoever's on your teammates, things of that nature. So you have one for thank you, so once someone makes a gift, recruiting, and to ask for gifts. So the first one I'm going to talk about is thank yous. Let's go back, right?
You want to go to the internet?
Yep. Sorry.
So we're going to be flipping back and forth here. So we're going to the internet, and I believe we're going to my personal fundraising page, which is here.
Right here.
Okay.
So within that, you can see we have her thank yous, and we'll preview it. And it's just saying thank you for your gift, and how grateful that you are for the gift. And also, we try to let everyone know that, we encourage this. If they give a gift, remind them that they can always see if they're, and I'm sure Thomas Jefferson does this, but if they give a gift, it could go twice as far if they do matching gifts. So if you encourage, your donors, or those participating, to remind whoever's giving gifts to them to see if their company has a matching gift program, and if so, to make sure that they mark this gift with that matching gift program. So that's something that we want to make sure we encourage people to do.
Okay.
The other piece is for recruitment. People to join your team, and you will see this only if, so this is just telling them what you're doing, why you're doing it, and how they can join your team. So, so that's something else, that another tool for recruitment.
Mm-hmm. Do we have to make this up, or is it already set up? It's set up from you, correct?
It's already set up as a template, but we encourage you to customize it. So, you can say, hey, team so-and-so, or hey, my college friends, or whatever, Facebook buddy, whatever you want to do. You can we encourage you to personalize whenever possible. Mm-hmm. And then the final one is solicitation. And this one tells people why they should help you. And then if they want to give, how they can give. Mm-hmm. And also, if they don't want to do it online, they can send it to us. So those are some of the those are the ones that are actually in your participant center.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that can, even if we decide to do the Zoom, but we can put that in that area, correct? Recruiting.
Right. So this would only go to who your contacts are, but if you upload whatever contacts into the system, that's fine too. And I think Jean is going to talk about uploading.
Actually. Okay, so so as Natalie said, you can also compose your own email by clicking on the Compose tab, and we do encourage that. You can, on the Set Recipients tab, you can see the emails of all your donors, or those are mine there, and you can also upload your own, either adding an individual contact or importing, and there's instructions right on your screen. And then before you send, you'll be able to view the results and preview it before you send.
Okay.
And then finally, this section here allows you to keep track of what you do, what you're doing, what you've sent, who you're reaching out to. So that's basically your email tools. I don't know if Natalie wants to say any more. Okay.
But I will tell you that it'll probably be next week. We will send out to all our major cities, so that includes yours, major cities, and other sites, emails saying that registration is officially open. So we'll personalize it for Philly to all the past participants from last year. So, and they'll be able to go directly to the Philly site. But some people may get, the one that takes them to the hub if they're newer. But for the most part, if they participated in Philly's walk last year, they will get the Philly postcard that will take them to the Philadelphia site.
Okay, good. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, and then finally we wanted to talk about telling your story, and Natalie mentioned that personalization is really important for everyone who participates. So you are involved in this walk for a reason. You've been impacted by bladder cancer. And what motivates you to get involved would also motivate your supporters. For starters, it would be a good idea for each participant to upload their own picture. When they go into their participant page, they'll see their individual and their team pages, which will be visible to the world, really. They'll see there's a picture in there, but it's much better if instead of seeing a picture we've put in, they see a picture of you or the person that you're participating for, something that will move people and motivate them. And then in terms of stories or words, your story is your most powerful tool. I was at a hearing on Capitol Hill once, and we had many experts testifying, and we had doctors, and we had a vice president from a pharma company, and they were all saying really useful and important things. But as I was looking around the audience, I noticed that everybody was on their cell phone. They all had, not their cell phone, their smartphone. They were all paying attention to what they were holding in their hand rather than what was being said, until our last speaker got up, and she was a woman who had lost her husband to bladder cancer. And as she was telling her story, everyone put their phones down and started paying attention to her. And it's just another example of how powerful your personal story and your personal experience is, and how powerful it is to the people who can support you. So though we've got text in there, your words are much more powerful than our words. You can insert facts, and we do have some in there about how bladder cancer impacts people, 500,000 people living with bladder cancer, and so forth. So it's useful to use those facts. But consider, if you can, and if it works for you, using humor. It's only if you feel comfortable with it, but sometimes it's such a serious subject that people sometimes lighten the message a little bit as appropriate, or if it's appropriate for you. And then finally, when you tell your story, and unfortunately we know that bladder cancer, the stories aren't always positive. People you may have lost someone, or the experience of struggling with bladder cancer may have been difficult for you. You want your people who read your story, though, to understand that you've made it to the other side, or that there is something positive to be gained from this. And so I'll just give you one example. I know a woman, I listened to a woman speak who had lost her mother to bladder cancer, and there's no way around it. That's really tragic. But she ended her talk by saying that that she knew her mother would be proud of her, and that she knew her mother would appreciate that they were taking steps forward. So I would just encourage you to try and remind people that there is something positive about this, and they are doing something positive, and their actions, in fact, are positive. And these are tips that we give to people in our Speakers Bureau. So if you're maybe stuck on what to say, or whether you should even bother to say it, you really do have, your story really is powerful and important, and it's important for your supporters to hear it. So.
And I just want to say, I know that you guys are doing this from a hospital or institution perspective. So, because Dr. Hoffman deals with bladder cancer patients all the time, on a daily basis, you could, personalize, all of you, the three of you or your team or committee will personalize your pages to around the patients that she serves.
Okay.
So you may not have a story, but you could talk about those patients that she serves, Thomas Jefferson served, or that you guys have worked with within her office. So this is why you're doing this particular event.
Okay.
Okay, and, well, we've been open for questions throughout, but any final questions?
Okay, no, this is good, because then I'll let her know if she wants to fill that out like what with Natalie just said, write a little blurb about the patients that she sees and how she has to, on a daily basis, how she feels, and that would help. That's good. And so I'll tell her about that. She wants to do that. But like you said, the site's up and running now. So hopefully we can get that flyer out tomorrow after I meet with with them. And that's it. So then we'll talk. I guess the next meeting, we're having another meeting in March. I think next Tuesday or the Tuesday after that. I think it's the
Oh,
8th.
you mean your committee?
Right, right. To meet with them and see what else we can do. And I'm going to bring to the table about the Zumba class and all, and how we could go about that and how we could set
Okay.
that up.
And then you should be expecting a package from us.
Okay.
Probably within the next.
I think within the next week
or so, with your postcards and posters and promotional items that you'll be able to use also.
Okay, good. Thank you so much.
You, Maria.
No problem.
And then I'm sure they'll get back in touch with you regarding that information that you sent over to Dr. Hoffman. I think they need to have a couple